Hello, welcome to your stable friend in our new format. Just me. When we first started this, it was an idea that I had a long time ago about discussing certain issues or answering questions. It was just going to be me. And then I thought, no, let's do a talk show. So then we had our other stable friends with us. And I thought I wanted to do a few in what my original idea was, just by myself, like a little TED Talk about certain issues that we can address about equine welfare. Today, I want to talk about something that happened yesterday on social media. I was defriended. This happens sometimes. I get blocked a lot. I don't get defriended as often because my friends know me and they know who I am and they know that I'm very passionate about equine welfare and they don't take what I say personally. They know that I'm, get up on my soapbox and I want to speak out. And it's not to hurt anybody's feelings, it's just to help the horses. So generally, I don't get defriended, but this was interesting. This is a friend of a friend who I've met a couple of times, and she's a horse person, and she's looking for a new horse. And she reposted something that from somebody else's page about the terrible climate of horse shopping, and how since social media, horse shopping has become this absolute sewer of treachery where there is just so much deceit and lying and misrepresentation. And I was thinking to myself, it's always been like that. Before social media, now at least, we have to see horses on videos and that's a lot easier. We don't have to make 5 million drives. We can see a lot of stuff even just on our phone. We don't even have to go home and, open up a video cassette. It's actually, social media has actually, I think, made things a lot easier for acquiring a horse or rehoming a horse. But no, she found somebody who said that there's scams, there's catfishing, there's all sorts of different criminal activity that people have thought up different ways to scam you through buying and selling horses. Again, it's always been a terrible business. I mean, horse dealing, being a horse trader, is likened to being like a used car salesman. It's the same thing. It's not a pretty business. You can make a lot of money in it, and that's why people, of course, want to do it. But it's not a pretty business. It's never been a pretty business. And it's not because of the seller, and it's not really because of it's for sure not because of the horses, and it's not really because of some sort of underlying criminality to this. I really believe that the problem with horse trading is with the buyer. The buyer has unrealistic expectations of this industry. I cannot guarantee you that a horse that has been perfect for me for the last 3 years, that I will be able to put that horse on a trailer, send it to you, and just for the sheer fact that you gave me $20,000 for it, that it's going to be good for you, that it's going to like you, that it's going to enjoy your company, that it's going to want to have anything to do with you. I can't guarantee you that. Only you are in charge of that part of it. We're talking about brokering a living creature. That's kind of rocky territory to start walking around in. We are talking about brokering living creatures. And, like any living creatures that you would buy or sell, normally these are animals. In some places, people are selling humans, and that is happening with human trafficking. It's about the relationship that you can establish when that creature comes to you. If I put 2 or 3 years of training into a horse who responds beautifully to me, just because, again, we exchange money and a bill of sale, that can't guarantee you anything. So it's the seller, it's not on the seller, it's on the buyer being unrealistic about what to expect when you go out and look for a horse. So I was trying to tell her this. I guess I got a little bit too passionate with my words, a little bit too, I think I just got a little bit too real. I don't think she liked the realness of what I was saying. I mean, I didn't say anything nasty or mean or I don't feel that I was shaming her by commenting on her post or anything like that. I feel like I was trying to help her understand that the problem is systemic. The problem is within our industry. We are selling a live being. She said, isn't it weird that when most people, you go and maybe you spend a few days or weeks with this horse and you go back and you ride it a few times and spend time with it, and it's one way, and then you get it to your place and it's a completely different horse. Well, yes, it's in a brand new home. It maybe hasn't made friends yet. It's maybe not comfortable in this new home. Maybe it doesn't like the sounds, the sights, the smells, or isn't used to it yet. When we sell a horse, we are putting a very intelligent, sentient, sensitive creature on a trailer, shipping it to a stranger, most likely, or someone they've met a couple of times. It has to leave its friends. Maybe it's a family, maybe human, equine, canine, feline, birds, whoever it's established as its family. This horse is leaving his or her family. They're leaving what they knew, their home, maybe a home that they had grown up in. Think about what we're asking them to do. Think about what is expected of them. Think about where the criminal activity is that we even can do this, Oh, but then how do we get our horses? Well, sadly, yes, this is how we get our horses. I don't think we can change that part of it. If we want horses in our lives, we get them from adoption facilities, from rescues, from the auction, from sellers, from people that we know. This is how we get them. But what we have to consider is, what is that horse going through? Do you think that you were bait and switched because 3 days later you couldn't take that horse to a horse show? I have heard it. Believe me, I've on all of these different, pages on social media, like where people are asking for training advice or what have you. And some ladies actually said, "Oh my God, I think we were swindled. I bought this pony for my daughter. This pony was a champion and it was wonderful. And we went to a show and we watched it go around the jumps. And we bought it for a lot of money. And 3 days later, when my daughter took it to a show, it was terrible." I literally, I don't know, my head was gonna explode. They bought this pony. This pony went into a brand new life. Again, left friends, obviously left a child, maybe it loved. Left a trainer maybe that it had feelings for. Left its life, went into a brand new life, and just 3 days later was expected to go out and perform. It's a horse. It's a living being. It is not a pair of ice skates. Yes, maybe you could feel swindled if you just spent a fortune on a custom pair of ice skates and you got into your first competition and the blade flew off. Yes, I guess you could feel swindled. But to feel swindled because you gave your horse 3 days to settle in to a new place and then go to a horse show and it couldn't perform well? Come on, people. I think we can do better than that. I think that the simplest thing that you can do, yes, we don't want to anthropomorphize them. They're not people, and dogs and cats and birds, they're not people. But why don't we at least start there? Why don't we start by saying, what if the shoe was on the other foot? Or how would I feel if that was me? How would you feel if that was you? How would I feel if my husband put me on a trailer and sent me away to go and have a new spouse? Without telling me, without discussing it with me, without asking my feelings about it. Let's try. It sounds ridiculous, because I could probably just leave, but the horse can't, and that's the point. The horse has no say in the matter, and that's the point. The horse is generally not asked for his or her opinion, and that is the point. So the problem is not with the horse seller. The problem is with the horse buyer and their unrealistic expectations of what it is to acquire a horse. It is not a pair of ice skates. It is not a bicycle. It is not a dirt bike. And just because you pay $200,000 for one doesn't mean it's going to go out and win you ribbons. I have another old friend who also is no longer a friend because of social media, who felt she had a lot of money, so she always felt that she could, just buy a really nice show horse and then just go to a show and win a bunch of ribbons. And she just kept trading these horses in because it didn't happen that way. And she just kept thinking it was the horse. No, it's the system. Whoever taught her that we could expect that from a horse, that's where the dishonesty is. That's where the deceit and the lie are. We need to go way back into the system and reteach ourselves about what would be honest and realistic to expect from a horse and to expect from the industry that is trying to facilitate people to give them their dream to have a horse. You have to do your part as the one acquiring the horse, understanding what that must be like for the horse. Once we get the horse, and take it from me, the last horse that I got, I did get from social media. And thank goodness, I took him sight unseen. I laid it all down. I went to Las Vegas. I just put it all down on green and spun the roulette wheel and, knock on wood, it worked out for me. But it didn't work out the way that I thought it was. It didn't work out to my expectations at all. I got this horse to be a riding horse, that I could get right on and start riding. And this is the one that made me the equestrian pedestrian. So you can imagine it didn't meet any of my expectations, but guess what? It was better than I even hoped for because I formed a relationship and I saw what was meant to be for me on my own journey. Horses are like people that way. We meet who we're supposed to meet to help us grow and to help us get to the next place in our lives. And we always have to remember, your horse is not a piece of sports equipment. Your horse is another living being in your life that has a message for you, that has something to teach you, that has something that might help you to evolve and grow. Even if it's not the one that you hoped for or the one that you thought you paid for, you still might want to give it a chance to see. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. You'll help us to do more videos and to advocate for equine welfare. And if you like it, hit the like button too. It's so easy to do. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.